That's like one of your favorite shows.
It is like my favorite show. Yeah,
That's
30
the
Rock.
one.
I die on that hill of like it's better than The Office. It's the best of all of the NBC Thursday night. Um, that the because what it was like The Office, Parks and Rec, Community, 30 Rock.
Yeah, but like, do you like? All right, we're 25 seconds into the podcast, and I'm already going. Do
We're
we
already off
have
the
to?
rails.
Do we have to like? It's better than The Office. Like, is that like that? And I'm not. This isn't an attack at you, but like we as humans do that. Like that was one of the first things that you talked about when you talked about 30 Rock was that it's better than The Office.
Well, I just say
Can't
like
they
that.
just both be really good?
Yeah, absolutely. But when you were asking me about it, you're like, "Oh, that's your favorite," and I was like, "Yeah, that's always been my like," because everyone has like it's either that or something. But yeah, you will compare it to whatever is considered the most popular.
Yeah, it was like back in the day, it was like Brady or Manning. Which one?
Right.
You
Hmm.
know, and then when you said Brady, you're like people automatically assumed that you're just like, well, Peyton Manning's garbage. It's like that's not
Yeah.
really.
No. I like both of them, but it's also the amount of the reason you go to The Office is because of the amount of fanfare it gets, even still.
Yeah.
Um, and I've always said that I
So,
like 30 Rock better.
so I would argue The Office is the Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's more of the one
The obvious answers.
publicity. Yeah, like everyone's like, oh yeah, but you're the deep tracks only dude at a Dave Matthews concert, but for
Yeah, until
Thursday
Ants
night,
Marching comes on, and then I'm like,
but
no.
for Thursday night NBC programming, and you're like, yeah, but 30 Rock, dude,
Yeah,
that's my
exactly.
shit.
Yeah,
So that's who you are.
that's who I am. It's a great show. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It is 1,000% mine.
It's good and it's drier, and I think I like that part.
No,
It's
it's just
different.
joke. It's just
Yeah, it's just huzzah,
it.
bazinga,
Right.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it is. And then it's like I'm probably on my like 15th rewatch of it, and
You and I
like
share a heartthrob through that program though.
who's that? Tina.
It's Tina.
Everyone loves Tina. She's my girl. She is just getting better with age.
It kind of
She's
weirds my
finding her.
wife out that I like Tina Fey. Like that I like
Yeah,
think that
I'll
she's
do that
gorgeous.
too because like I think I think it makes our wives think more. Because if I
They're
was
like,
just like, oh, Sydney Sweeney, they'd be like, all right, I get it.
I do that
Y-
too, for the record.
Yeah, well, no, I know, but I'm saying like if you pick somebody who isn't like
Yeah.
the obvious choice, they're like,
Mm,
well, because then it's actually shows that we put thought into it
yeah.
rather than like the obvious answers. So
Right.
like one for me too, still to this day, absolutely love. And again, this is very obvious, but like Jennifer Connelly, oh my god, like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um,
Big one for
I,
back in the day, Cecily Strong.
huge.
Yeah.
Love Cecily,
Hmm.
still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you pick someone who isn't like, I don't know,
Who's not
who are the
Jennifer Lawrence or Margot
right,
Robbie or
right,
something like that.
right. You're like I have the hots for Margot Robbie. It's like cool, dude. So does
Yeah.
your wife.
Get in line. Yeah. Welcome to Rally Top Sports, everybody coming into the pod. Welcome on a Wednesday. Chilling on a Wednesday. You got Aaron, you got Corey.
I'm drinking a nice Augusta beer from Sibling Revelry Brewing, which is right here local in Cleveland. But it seemed like an appropriate beer to drink with
You're back on the train. You're back on the wagon.
oh, I'm back on the train.
Hmm. Yeah,
um,
your sober March has ended and it is
yeah, it was
April,
good. Hmm.
and now we're back in it. We're back in it. So
Back
you're
in it.
sipping on that. I am. I got a little Kentucky sunshine going on in the tumbler this evening.
Yeah.
Um, little Bardstown bourbon,
Yeah. Okay.
rapidly becoming one of my favorite
Did you
bourbon. Like
get like the flavored or just
no,
Bardstown?
just the regular
Aren't they the
standard.
ones that do the, like the infused ones, right?
I think they do have some, but the only
I could
ones
be
I've
wrong.
gotten is like the regular or like the single batch or single barrel or whatever they call it. Like everyone's
Hmm.
got their own little thing.
I'm mixing
Um,
it up with something else. I know exactly what this one is. Yeah. Good stuff.
y- yes, very good. And also for our fellow bourbon drinkers out there, if you want to seem like you want to seem like a hipster of bourbon, but not just decimate your wallet, Bardstown is a great option. Because
Yeah.
most people haven't, I don't think most like common bourbon drinkers really drink Bardstown yet. Like everybody knows, like obviously, the Woodford and the Blantons and the Eagle Rares and the Pappy and stuff like that, like all like, you know, the Buffalo, like all 47 Buffalo Trace bourbons that exist out there. Bardstown is a solid option for like 40-50 bucks that you bring that
Sounds
over,
good.
take a sip. So I got a little Bardstown, a little lemonade on top of it.
I like bourbon lemonade as like a
It's
yeah.
so good.
Yeah. I don't
So
know that
good.
I'd mix a $50 bottle myself, but
It's like this one was like 40.
okay. I usually reserve. I have like my Jim Beam in the decanter for. Here's
Yeah.
the. Let's mix that shit up all day.
Yeah, I mean like in the same breath though, like like if you were to get like a Kettle One and soda or something like that, like
I can't tell much of the difference between like vodkas. Bourbon is the one that I absolutely am like. I'm a snob.
so let me ask you this though. Would not a better bourbon make a better mixed drink as well?
I think it. I think there is a.
What's up,
There's like
Tez?
it's like the bell curve, right? Where at a certain point, I feel like I am diluting good whiskey.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
So, put this in perspective. I have the higher end Bardstown in my pantry as well.
Sure,
Not putting
of
Minute
course.
Maid on top of that. Also,
Crystal Light packets.
yeah, some liquid IV in there. I
Just just
I,
covered all my bases.
yeah. I my cousin recently asked me to be his best man,
Oh,
and
congrats!
thanks, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And
Is it Eric or
yeah,
yeah,
Eric.
Eric? Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
Eric. Beautiful soul. Um and he gifted me a bottle of Eagle Rare.
Very nice. I actually just had Eagle Rare for the first time this past weekend.
Really? And
I mean, it was fantastic. We went
yeah,
to a cocktail bar um, in Little Italy, which of
emphasis
course,
on the cock.
yeah, right, which of course I refer to as Littlely because why wouldn't you?
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, well, no, but like I don't get how nobody else. I do it all the time, and I get looks. I'm like, why would you refer to it as anything else?
Yeah, just
Littlely.
condense that shit. It's a
Yeah,
conjunction
I
at
don't
that
have. I
point.
don't have time. I don't have time for this. Um, had a cocktail though with it was bourbon based, and I was
Uh-huh.
they make really good. It looked like the cocktails they made were really good. So I saw them walking by with like their Manhattan. And I was like, oh, that looks great. But they had a Manhattan about everywhere, right? This is
Okay.
a strictly like they had like bread and like olive oil, but it wasn't like a food place. So it was like
Yeah.
a
He's
cocktail
like,
bar.
come here
Anyway,
and like just sober up as well.
right. So I got one that was like the only way I could describe it is like dark chocolate and bourbon, basically. But
Ooh.
it didn't have any chocolate.
Chocolate and bourbon so go so well
It
together
it
though.
didn't have like chocolate in it though. It wasn't like a syrupy drink. It was still like a brown liquor drink,
Okay.
and it was so fucking good. I was so happy I ventured out and got something a little different.
Okay.
And then I got and it came with like a little one of those like little chocolate covered pokey sticks. That was pretty nice too. Little stir.
Chocolate. And it was covered in chocolate.
The stick, you know those like little like the Asian snack they are like if you ever go to like the Asian food market they have the like it's just like rice
It's like,
cracker dipped in chocolate. It's not like it's
oh,
called like pokey.
okay. Oh,
It's not
okay, okay. I thought when you said pokey, I thought you were just being cute and saying
oh
like poke.
no. Sorry.
Gotcha. I'm 5. All right, cool. All right, so weather's I mean, you guys pretty much had rain all day today, didn't you?
No, actually.
Mm.
Kind of sideswept us. So we got drizzled on a little bit, but no, it wasn't too bad.
The
Did you get
weather's starting to break. It's I mean, we had a beautiful weekend. I got and played golf for the first time.
I'm jealous, man. I still haven't been able to get out. Um really want to. I went to the range today for the first time though. How'd you play? How'd you shoot them?
97.
Hey, first round out, not too bad.
right? That's what I said.
That's great. That's a great way to build your season.
So now it's time to just like buy family.
Yeah, sorry guys. I got to prep for the Masters.
Didn't ask for this, but
I
it
got the
happened.
call.
I mean,
That's awesome.
if Scotty's wife goes into labor, I'm the next call, more than likely. Jim Nance actually will call me specifically. And Corey, welcome to Augusta, a tradition unlike any other. Welcome, friends.
What do you think you would shoot if you played Augusta?
God, 130.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
almost feel like
being
it'd be higher.
true, I
Like
think
playing, well, yeah, you're playing like somebody else is keeping your score.
no gimmies.
No gimmies. You're playing from the pro tips.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not
I
gonna.
think driver just stays in the bag the whole time, right?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna need it on like a par three.
I think I just hit. Yeah, right. I think it's just sand wedge and 7-iron,
Yeah.
mostly up and down the course. I think that's
Yeah,
the
that's a
only
good
way I get
question. Would you be better if you just were like, I'm gonna play with 3 clubs, or if you had your whole bag?
in general or just at Augusta.
Just at Augusta.
I think the answer might be the same either
I
way, but
yeah, right.
um, yeah, I think maybe right. Like let me just hit it 100 yards every
Hmm.
time, and then we'll just pick it up and just see what happens, right? Because let's put it this way: even like let's say I hit it 100 yards into the water, and then I just get to bring it to the foremost fairway and then hit it another 100 yards.
Hmm.
As long as I make contact on the other side, I get to drop on that side, right? So like
Yeah,
I
and
think,
your closest, you have to drop it no closer to the hole.
but if it touches and then rolls back into the water, I get to drop.
Oh, then yeah, I think so. I don't know though. That's a good question. It's from point of entry, so yeah,
Yeah, so I would have entered from the other side. So then,
right.
okay.
You're working on your backspin to hit it into the creek,
Just saying if it happens, if I fuck up and put some
right?
mustard on that and it just comes back. More often than not going to happen. But I was happy with my game on Sunday. It was a gorgeous day here in Michigan. I was happy with my game, and the drive was beautiful, and then like after hole 13 the slice started coming back, so I'm just chalking that up to tired.
Yeah. Fatigue.
That's what I'm just, yeah, chalking that up to fatigue and having faith in my shot, and I'm feeling good. Couple of clutch putts, classic
Nice.
Corey clutch putts that happened, saving par, saving bogey, saving double, as is tradition for my golf game.
That's great. Yeah, my putter usually bails me out. Problem is the day you're finally striking your irons well is when
Putter's
you're
gone.
like, I'm gonna just like forget how to putt today for some
Yeah,
reason.
3 putts all around. You get a 3 putt. You get a 3 putt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been able to get out yet. I have a bachelor party next week, which isn't golf focused, but we're all
In Cleveland.
yeah. It's like Hocking Hills area. It's in Ohio, but
Ooh,
yeah. Um,
dude. Like
it's like where we
what we
went
did
to like
for
Nate's.
Nate's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same general area. We got a giant house that has like an
Nice.
indoor basketball court.
This is next week.
Next weekend. Yeah.
I'll be on a bachelor party next
Oh,
weekend.
really? It's a good weekend
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I'm going to New Orleans.
Ooh, that'll be fun. I've never
Yeah.
been to New Orleans.
I've been when it didn't matter. Like I was like 14,
Hmm.
like what with my grandparents, which was good from a cultural perspective. Like I got to see the actual things that are in New Orleans
Hmm.
that grandparents would show you, like
Yeah,
Preservation Hall. Saw some, got some beignets.
of course.
Oh, did the touristy adult things, like not like young adult things.
Yeah.
So it'll be a change of pace. So this bachelor, you're going to Hocking Hills, plenty of golf courses around there, not golf focus.
Well, I mean, I'm bringing my clubs,
Attaboy.
but
Well, they just
the
stay in the car this time of
the
year.
groom isn't necessarily a golfer, right? But there's also like 20 dudes going. There will be
20?
yeah, it's like a ridiculous amount.
Holy shit. Do I
And
do I know anybody going?
yeah, you know a good amount of them. Yeah, it's Aaron Shordock is the one who's bachelor planning it.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Congratulations, Sherlock.
But we
What a
have
good dude. Like
oh
that
yeah,
Sherlock is just the dude that you can, and everybody listening, you all know this guy. You not literally, but you know the guy that I'm talking, like this kind of person to where you just find yourself next to this person at a party and then you're talking, you blink and you've talked to him for 45 minutes.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's who at least that's who he's been for me.
Yeah, so we're gonna have there's the basketball court. We're gonna do poker, like all that shit. So it'll be obviously we'll do some like hiking and stuff.
Do you play
But
euchre, Aaron?
I don't. I've played before. I would need a refresher on the rules, but I could pick it right back up. Which one's euchre again?
It's the one where jacks are like the top card.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like you have to play it like trump is like the top suit
Mm-hmm.
and you have to follow suit by whoever leads the round. You have to
Yep.
take tricks to get yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big Michigan and Indiana card game is euchre. And I just threw it out into the group chat actually about like 30 minutes ago and for the New Orleans group chat. And there's some
How,
euchre players.
how many do you
So
have
I'm
going?
18.
Okay, so
Yeah, and it's
bachelor
a
parties go hard, man.
dude, and it's a joint. It's a
Oh, really?
bachelorette party. We're in different
Oh, yeah.
locale, but on the final evening, we will be getting together and doing like a nice restaurant. Ricky Eba, like in the stream. What's up, Ricky? We will be getting together and doing like a joint meal and then doing a ghost tour in New Orleans.
Ooh, that'll be sweet.
So I like
You a big
every ghost.
ghost hunter guy?
I'm not. I watch Ghost Adventures and laugh my ass off. Like I'll just
Sure.
smoke a joint and then watch Ghost Adventures, and it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Um, the number one thing that they say is to don't like provoke the ghosts, or you'll get a bunch of activity from the ghosts.
Okay,
So
so you're gonna poke him. Yeah.
naturally, I will poke these ghosts for sure, or
Just
poke.
walk into the room real loud, like there ain't no bitch ass ghosts in here.
Yeah, if there's a ghost right here, why don't you play with my hair a little bit? You know, I've got to just ask him to do things for you. Oh, file my taxes. I'll be late at that point, but just file my taxes for me. Just ask him. Bet you won't. You're too stupid, ghosts. Bet you won't fill up this cup with beer right now, ghost. You pussy ghost. You won't do it.
That reminds me of Hannibal Buress.
Love Hannibal
He
Buress.
has like a whole thing
What?
in the
What is he?
New
He
Orleans.
hasn't done anything lately.
No, he hasn't really done much lately, but he has one of my favorite jokes where he's just like being in New Orleans, how you can like get drinks to go.
Yes.
Where he's just like, yeah, I'll take a Jameson and ginger ale to go. This place fucking sucks. I I just love it.
No, I've I've really been enjoying listening to a bunch of different comics podcasts. And I know this
Yeah.
guy is really famous now and he like just had a movie come out on Amazon. Andrew Santino, though,
Yeah.
I've really
Whiskey Ginger.
enjoyed. Yeah, and
Yeah.
not only that, but also Bad Friends with Bobby Lee.
Yeah, I don't listen to that. I'm not a huge Bobby Lee fan. I don't if
It's
you are,
fun.
that's no problem. Yeah.
So like the dynamic of that podcast is like Andrew is Tom and Bobby Lee is Bert, right? Like to where like Tom is the calming force and then like Bert
Right.
Kreischer is like the crazy all over the place guy. It's kind of like that and it works and it's good and
Yeah.
it's
Oh no, I'm
funny.
not knocking it. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
no. But like Cam Patterson, I don't do you watch Kill Tony at all?
No.
So
I know
that
what it
so
is, but yeah.
yeah, it's like the Mothership is Joe Rogan's new
Mhm.
club in Austin, which Austin is like they're just they're just like, this is going to be comedy haven now, and they're just
Right.
making it so right.
Yeah, they're like everyone's just gonna move here and we're gonna build it and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
build the
yeah.
dreams.
It's kind of cool,
Yeah.
actually. Crazy what you can do with a fuck ton of money, right? Um,
Yeah, it's wild.
yeah. So they do that at Joe Rogan's the mother. Well, this Cam Patterson, he came from the Kill Tony stuff, and I just listened to him actually on I think it was the latest Whiskey Ginger podcast. It was really really good. So it's just cool that like I feel like comedy is in like a very cool part like stage right now where there's just like a bunch of really funny people
Hmm.
that are just popping out. And I know you go to way more comedy shows than me. But I think like both of us listen to a fuck ton of
Yeah, I mean,
stand
whether you
up
go
and
or
like,
not, it doesn't. I
yeah,
just like I genuinely like it's so fun to go to the shows because it's it's all new material and frankly I also just am pretty fortunate to be in a place that has like a
they
pretty
actually talked about
renowned.
hilarities. Bobby Lee mentioned hilarities
Yeah, we
on
have
one of
a
the
go ahead. I
no, I was just saying, Bobby Lee mentioned hilarities on like the latest, on one of their the latest Bad Friends. He had
Yeah.
mentioned that as one of his favorite spots, and I guess one of the promoter there, the manager there, or something like that, just being one of his favorite guys to work with in general. And they had mentioned about the Cleveland comedy scene. You talked about it the last time we were on. But I just think in general we're just in a like a really good time for
Yeah.
like stand-up comics. But we're also in a time of like really bad stand-up comics like getting the flash and like get
Yeah, I
because
mean,
like TikTok
just
and
like with
shit.
anything with the internet, I mean, you have more opportunities to be found, I guess,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
also have more opportunities to like diversify what like people listen to. Like what would have been popular 20 years ago is, what did Comedy Central pick up, right? Like who got the nod to have their Comedy Central presents 30-minute special that they maybe parlayed into like an HBO one or a spot
yeah,
on like
yeah,
Conan or something
yeah.
like that. So, that actually it is interesting because Dan Soder is one of my favorites. I listened to his podcast and he was describing it about how like he caught the tail end of that where it was like still remembers like how huge it was to like get his like 8 minutes on Conan and like he's like, oh, I'm gonna get so many different opportunities because of this. And
Mm,
he kind of like he's like, and then 2 years later that kind of like it was kind of gone because
yeah,
like that wasn't like how you got found anymore.
right, right. Yeah, no, they've got a lot like Dave Attell even is
Yeah,
still like kicking around he just released a special I think
I just
on
watched
Netflix.
that this week. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So he's like one of the OGs. I think he's been doing comedy for like
Yeah, he seems to
130
be
years.
like the one that all like the contemporary comics just like respect,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, where they're always like, oh yeah, it's like my style's from David Tell or something like that.
Yeah,
He's
and that isn't
very
that crazy that like while he is a big name, like he's never been like
no, he kind of like like poo poos it away, where he's like, oh stop, you know what I mean, like where everyone's
yep,
like, no, Dave, like you're such an
yep.
important figure, and he's like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
Goals. Like
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. No, that's yeah. So how do we pivot from this to the Masters, Aaron?
I think we just did.
Good question. Good answer. Next, so the Masters starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Um, we've got our Masters pool going. We've got our team selected. This is just like for me is just like the symbolism of mid-spring. Summer's right around the
Yep.
corner. Get the fruity cocktails ready. Get your bathing suit ready. You better be doing your sit-ups because it's about to be boat season. We're gonna be having a good time. It's just warm weather. Everyone's feeling good. It's just it's good vibes, man. The
Great
Masters
vibes.
brings on great vibes. Absolutely. What are we looking forward to the most, do you think?
I mean, I'm with you. We kind of talked about this a little bit couple weeks ago when we were like, what's like that official start of
Start of
like
spring, yeah.
spring or summer for you? And it really is like the Masters,
Mm,
where it's like, because I don't watch we've had the Players Championship already. Like that's always, you know,
Yeah.
like the first big event of the year. Um, but the Masters, there's just something so amazing about it, and they've done such a great job with the event where it's basically the antithesis of the waste management, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, they're polar opposites of each other,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
each have their merits, but I adore having a weekend where when somebody yells "get in the hole," they get kicked the fuck out, which I kind of like because I hate those people. It really does like make the product terrible to watch. It is interesting watching everybody watch the
Wait,
event.
wait, wait, wait. So you're telling me if somebody yells "get in the hole" at
You're
Augusta,
not allowed. You're not. Yeah, dude. There is a strict like in terms of like policy. Now maybe towards like the end on Sunday, like fine, but like you can't take your cell phone inside. You can't. Um, you can't like yell or scream. Like it's just such a peaceful event, quite honestly. Um, so it is kind of nice to not have all of those ridiculous distractions, at least in terms of an event in and of itself. So that's really cool. One of my dreams. I always enter the lottery for
yeah.
the tickets. Haven't won yet.
All right. So friend deal.
Sure.
That way we both get 2 entries.
Yeah, that'd be tough though. I'd probably have to take Mary.
Yeah, but like, dude, I've known you way longer.
That's true. That's true. I'll let her know.
Just tell her that.
Yeah. Uh because I think she would be into it. I just think it would be so cool to go.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Even if you
Is-
get to go to the par 3, even if you go to the practice rounds.
Yeah, but if you were there Sunday,
If you're there Sunday, you're just
I'm just trying to think like what's that might be the event I would want to go to the most.
so all right, thank you. Let's
Yeah.
talk this out. All right, money is of no issue.
Right.
Um let's lay out some sporting events. So, let's say
So like the Super Bowl is the
the
obvious.
Super Bowl 50-yard line, 50-yard line of the Super Bowl, right? Whichever view level you prefer, whatever. The best seats that you would prefer, whether it's maybe you're in the end zone so you can somebody's
Right.
jumping up, whatever you would prefer at the Super Bowl. Let's say 18th fairway, 18th green at Augusta. I don't know where you would want to be. Amen corner.
Probably Amen corner. I was say Amen corner and then just like follow the leader from there.
And then follow. Yeah, you just get in the gallery and
Right.
just follow. Let's say at the finish line of the Kentucky Derby. I think that would be a pretty big one. Final Four tickets,
Yeah. I was gonna say like courtside at the finals.
courtside at the NBA Finals, World Series, your team, right? Like
That's
all
the
of
one
this.
thing I feel like you can't do though, is you can't be like be like your team's because it's just like
No,
going to
no, because your golfer is there at the Masters.
Yeah, but every golfer is there at the Masters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Right.
not every golfer, but you know what I mean. Like,
But yeah, but like not every golfer is in contention. So like it
yeah,
might
that's
not
true.
be your favorite. I guess I just proved your point.
Right.
I digress. Okay, so all of those
It's like Super Bowl sounds awesome. If the Browns made it, I wouldn't want to go.
I don't know if that's all right. So let me all right. All right. Super Bowl, it's the Browns, and like I'm like it's me, like let's just say I'm wildly successful at this point. The Bengals have already won 3 Super Bowls, and I am just telling you that Aaron, I love you. It is my children, my wife, and then it's you, buddy. And so my wife and children have already experienced these Super Bowls. The Browns are in this one, Aaron. You know what? I'm gonna fly you out.
Okay.
We're gonna get a
I'm
sick.
in. I'm not saying no to this.
We're gonna get a sick hotel. We're gonna go to the game, and we're gonna have great seats. You're telling me that you would say, I'm gonna catch this one at home, bud.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's way different though. That's like
That's kind of the scenario that we're talking about, though. Like everything's free. You're just there.
Yeah, I know, but all things being equal, right? So
you're just at the event.
yeah. I don't know. I guess if the Browns were in it, it would make it
All
difficult.
right, let's just say it's next year's Super Bowl and they're not in it, and it's just a random team. It's the Bengals
Yeah, I'd rather go to
Lions.
the Masters.
I think that for the record, I think your argument is, or like what you're saying is valid. By the way,
Yeah.
like here's what I'm looking at. Like, let's just imagine it's Sunday and Ricky is in contention.
Mm-hmm.
This is a moment I've thought about for a long time. It's Sunday. You got a little bit of the Sunday scaries, but you're keeping them off with a couple of Miller lattes, and you're at the in-laws or whatever for Sunday dinner, and you're kind of tired. It's like 1:30 and Ricky's right there. And there's just a massive fucking gallery following Ricky Fowler as he's contending for his first major, but also a Masters green jacket. Like that moment, that moment would just be insane to me.
Yeah, that would be
Like
awesome.
it would just be, or Rory. Rory's right
Yeah,
there at getting
for the
his
Grand
career
Slam.
grand slam. Like I'm literally, I don't even know if you can see, I'm getting goosebumps just
I can see him.
talking about this shit because it would just be so cool. Like that is the shit in sports that you never forget those moments. You never forget that shit. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that would be so cool to go to, or like if there was a playoff, or something like
Mm.
it would just be incredible.
Have there been a playoff at the Masters?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I
let's
couldn't
look.
tell you the last time.
That's what we're gonna find out right now, Aaron. That's why our interns are here. I'm an intern. Uh,
Um, but it is interesting. We have like some of the shortest odds we've ever seen at the Masters. With
yeah,
Scheffler's are now down even sub 400.
that's crazy.
Which is insane to me for a 4-day event with an 80-person field, right? Like, I did see though, like I saw somebody post like the history of the Masters, and there was one time, I think it was 2007. It's like at his peak, Tiger Woods was minus
Wow,
outright to win. Like
wow,
that's how, yeah. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
wow. Okay. Has there ever been a playoff of the Masters? Earlier playoffs were 18 holes on the following day,
Wow,
except for the first in 1935, which was 36 holes.
that's ridiculous.
Wow. All right, let's see. Historical records and stats on the Masters. A tradition unlike any other. Okay. Oh, so 2017, Sergio Garcia defeated
Yep.
Justin Rose with a birdie on the first playoff hole. So it's just the first one. It's just all right, one hole,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
typically how that. Yeah,
well, no, a lot of other non majors or even some majors do like 3-hole playoff.
typically it's just a next hole wins.
I I don't know that that's necessarily true. I'm almost certain that most PGA events are a 3-hole playoff.
Hmm.
Are most golf events a 3-hole playoff? Let's find out. The 3-hole playoff, excuse me, the 3-hole format is used, 3-hole format, nice, is used for the men's PGA championship. So I'm incorrect. The players championship and the other 3 USGA sanctioned tournaments for professionals, the US women. Okay, come on. Come on. What are we doing here? 4 men's majors originally used 18-hole or 36-hole format. US Open changed in 2018 to a 2-hole aggregate. So US Open is a 2-hole. Nice. The Open Championship used this format until 1985 when it was reduced to 4 holes. So the Open, or aka the British Open, is a 4-hole. 3-hole format is used for the men's PGA Championship, the Players Championship, and the other 3 USGA sanctioned tournaments for professionals. US Women's, US Senior Open, both were 18-hole playoffs. until shortened in 2007. Senior women's and the Masters used the 18-hole format till 1976. The first sudden death playoff was in 1979. So a lot of variation across the sport is what I'm gathering here from doing. There's no one stand. This is overtime, and this is the way we're
Right.
doing it type deal. So speaking of rule changes, real quick, we're just gonna go here, and we're gonna get back to our Masters picks. Speaking of rule changes, what do you think about the new kickoff in the NFL?
I think I'm gonna have to really see it in action.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in general, I'm against. I was against changing it in the first place.
Because you don't care about player safety, is what you're saying.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
honestly, I was like, can we get them those little, track boosters on the field like in Mario Kart?
Or make it so as in NFL Blitz, after the whistle, you can still
It's a free game, yeah.
just
You have
put the
pads on.
people's elbow down on
Mm-hmm.
somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. I'd prefer that actually. No, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll probably have one over time. If it's going to make the game more exciting, sure, great. If you're
Yeah,
gonna allow it where there's going to be more variance for big swing plays, I think that's ultimately a good thing. I think the way I heard someone describe it was, it would be sweet to see the Chiefs' reign end on a fucking kickoff return. You're not going to have that now because nobody can get a kickoff return. Like it's
yeah.
just not going to happen. But to add those type of high variance plays, I think is a good thing for the NFL. What are your thoughts?
I I think that the way that it was before was very boring.
Yeah.
The way that it up until now, right?
Yeah, it's like just start at the 20. Like why are we
that or like maybe perhaps you put a limit on touchbacks to
mm,
where like all right, if you kick it through the end zone or if they call a fair catch in the end zone, they get it at the 35 instead. Like you get two per half or one per half or
okay.
something like that. To what I would have liked to have seen in this is more strategic kicking off the tee. So like I want kickers to like get it to where they're able to elevate the ball off the tee and get it to drop inside the 10 to
Yeah.
force the return.
Yeah, the only issue there is,
Player safety.
well, no, I was going to say, of course I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, because you're
Um
against it.
I'm anti. I was like, helmets, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah.
Um no, you don't want the ball to go out of bounds because then you get it at the 40.
Yeah.
So to try to master those type of kicks, I don't think the risk reward is worth it for if every, if 1 out of 10 of those kicks you're attempting lands out of bounds, it's not worth it.
So here's a question. You do the kickoff. What if you incentivize the kicking team for being able to kick it through the uprights off the tee?
No,
No?
no.
All right, you get it at the 20 instead of the 25.
Okay, sure. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no
Can't be rule. It
points.
can't. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
No points, just field position.
Sure.
You good with that?
I'm fine
All right,
with it.
so you put it through the uprights. The opposing team gets it at the 20. Otherwise, so where in this new rule change is the place at which the person is kicking changing?
The place where the person's kicking isn't changing. It's where the defenders line up.
So more than not, these kickoffs are going through the back of the end zone every time, right?
Or wait, no, they do change, right? The kicker's position does change.
Let's look this up. Let's not speak here.
Um,
Chat, chime in. You can engage in this show. I swear to God, you can. I know what you're watching is a masterpiece, but you can engage. New NFL
yeah,
kickoff rule.
the interesting thing too is how this affects
from
the
the
onside kick.
20-yard line.
Yeah. So it's a
So
long,
it's
long.
yeah, it's 15 yards longer.
Yeah.
It's 15 yards longer from the 20-yard line. And most of these aren't going out 5 yards out of the back. Well, some of them are going out 5 yards from the back of the end zone. Some guys are still going to be able to put it damn near at the back of the end zone.
Mm-hmm. Some of them will.
So player safety is off the table at this point because you've eliminated the free running tackler.
Right.
Do you take away the touchback? Or limit how many you get per half?
I kind of like the limit idea. I wouldn't eliminate it.
Yeah.
Because there are certain times when you're returning where you actually
Because, like, at the
have it.
beginning of the game, you don't want to use that touchback right then.
Right.
Like, if it's a clean catch, it's like, all right, our guys versus your guys. I'm getting past the 20 or the 25 or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it's going to be. Right?
Yeah, I would be on board with that.
So one touchback per half. And the opening kickoff, you're getting a return because, like I said, as long as it's a clean catch and it's not out of the back of the end zone, you're not burning that touchback.
Yeah, that's interesting to use it like that. Like, and then you'd have another thing on like the thing on the bottom where like next to the timeouts, like touchbacks left.
And then what happens is you get like Mike North or all these old football dudes just be like, I remember when you didn't have to think to play sports.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
okay, cool.
All right, Grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, sit down.
Let's get you to
MASH
bed.
is on.
Yeah. Go get some Bob Evans and we can go to bed at 6.
It's okay.
Honestly, that sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, dude, Robert Evans.
Not a Bob Evans fan.
If there's one place I will get biscuits and gravy, though, it is Bob Evans.
It is. Okay. That's
Like
fair.
I have been spoiled from my father, in that he makes the best biscuits and gravy and has
I've had yours, and I'm not even a big biscuit. I'm sure that's where it comes from.
Yes.
But I never really liked them that much. Like I remember you made them for my bachelor party, and I was like, all right, I'll have them. And I was like, oh, these are fucking good. Because I'm usually not a big fan of things that are like overly creamy.
Yeah.
But it's like the perfect, it's a good balance.
Yeah, and especially it is the go-to bachelor party meal because it's like, all right, I'm going to set you guys up. We're going to get a nice base before we go get wasted.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is going to soak up yesterday.
Yes.
Good base for today.
Going to get you right. Get you right. Yeah, so like I was spoiled with that growing up, but like so I don't really normally, because like most places when you go, it's like all like the flour, like milk mix. It's not so much sausage, and I don't like that. It's not very meaty.
No, you need the sausage.
Got to have a lot of it. It's got to be a meaty gravy, but Bob Evans is the only place that a restaurant where I'll get it. That, and then as you know, Waffle House.
Waffle House, like I'd rather have Waffle House than Bob Evans.
Dude, we used to do some fucking horrible things to like. I would walk out of there with a $30 bill because that was disgusting.
Yeah, one of my favorite Waffle House stories is it was right next to our former place of employment, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah,
and we left so late in what was our evening, like 5 a.m, that our GM was unloading the delivery truck, which notoriously comes very early. And we're like, you need some help? And he's, to his credit, was like, you're a walking insurance hazard. Please
go
leave.
home.
And I was like,
hey, Dennis.
Hey. So I always thought that was hilarious because I was like, look, there's the delivery truck. We're still awake.
Oh, man. The awful waffle. All right, let's bring it back. Let's get back to the event that's kicking off tomorrow. The Masters.
Some bad weather looks like it's rolling.
I feel like that's been the last like 5 fucking years.
Yeah. There hasn't been a Masters since 2019 that has not rained.
Dude, I'm exactly right. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
God damn.
yeah. I saw that today.
I'm like a
Um,
farmer's almanac.
so some interesting, obviously the live guys are, that are eligible can play in this event against the PGA Tour guys. This is the first time we're going
Hmm.
to see Rom since leaving, and of course he's the defending champion. You
So he
have
obviously won't win.
right. You have. I actually bet him to miss the cut.
Wow.
It's like plus 650. Um, listen,
Good value.
that's what I'm saying. That it is not a. I think he's going to miss the cut.
You bought a
It
scratch off
is.
ticket.
Yeah, I bought a scratch off ticket for um, a story I can believe happening. Guy leaves for live, isn't as mentally focused, had the monkey off the back last year from winning. You also have a lot of obligations the week of being the returning champion that takes your mind so off of the course
Mm.
that if one of these top guys is going to miss the cut, I'd argue Rom has, probably the best chance of any of them.
That's a good point. The thing is uh, about the returning champion point. I'm going to not agree on the live thing because what we talked about this last year about live guys coming back to the tour and we were expecting poor performances, but it just wasn't happening.
Mhm.
Like Cam, wasn't he runner up 2 years
Last year?
ago?
Oh, no, well, Cam was probably the only live guy last year that didn't look great because it was you had I always see
Not
Cam.
2019. It was 2019. Sorry. No, no,
Oh,
no.
well, yeah.
No, when was Cam the runner up? I'm trying to remember.
He wasn't on live at that point.
Brooks Brooks
Brooks was
played
the
well.
runner up.
Brooks played well at Augusta. Cam has
Phil played great last year.
Phil played great. Cam has notoriously played well at Augusta. I'm not saying he's
Mhm.
obviously he hasn't won it, but he's played well at that course.
Yeah.
And that is more of what I'm looking at is like guys that have played well at
Yeah.
Augusta. Like obviously like Jordan Spieth, obviously, you
Yeah,
put
Jordan
on
Spieth I have a lot of exposure to this weekend. Um as well
dude,
at what?
I I know what I just said, but what I'm about to say is going to absolutely contradict that.
Go ahead.
It's time, dude.
For what?
Rory's gonna get it.
You think so? There's nothing
I
wrong with
do.
that. I yeah.
I
I
really do. I really do. I don't know, but I just feel it. I felt it like a month ago. I was just watching him play golf and I was just like, "Man, he looks good." He's just been playing good golf. And I just feel it. I don't know I can't explain it with any statistic for you because Rory missed the fucking cut last year.
yeah.
I can't give you any statistical reason as to why I feel like Rory's going to do well this week, but that's just where I'm at. And
Well,
I could be very wrong. History would
and
tell me I'm going to be.
I hope well here's the thing. He's got the second best favorite odds
But
to
he
win.
always does. He
I know.
always
I
does.
know. I know. And probably rightfully so, right? Like he's still the thing with Rory is even when he's not playing his best golf, you'll look up like he'll have like a +2 day on Thursday, and then you'll look up on Sunday, you're like, oh shit, Roy's seventh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's all
Yeah. Exactly.
like
So
I've
that
forgotten about him 2 days ago,
So
but
Tiger's
he
the
just
greatest
kind of
golfer of all time. Tiger is the greatest
yeah,
golfer of all time.
yeah,
There's nobody that's going to debate that fact. With that, even though he doesn't have as many majors, right? As Jack. Like no one is going to debate that. I would argue that Rory is top 3 all time
that's
because
interesting.
I would say that he would just decimate anyone from the older era that could possibly be higher than him all time. Like people are going to say Jack is there because of the major wins and Arnie's going to be up there and like people are going to throw because of all the tournament wins and
Yeah,
stuff
but you
like that.
kind of have to weight that a little bit because it's
I
because
think that
okay,
golf
but
is
you're
more competitive now than it has ever been.
I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying is you're saying, if you put Rory up against guys in like the 1950s, he's going to wipe the floor with them. My question is, does he have to
Which
play with the
equipment? Yeah.
exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my only counter to that is all that I have is Rory's swing.
Yeah, I mean, for someone as short as he is to get that much power out of his swing is nothing short of impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably what, all of 5'9", if that. Like he's a shorter guy.
No, I think really?
Yeah.
All right, let's find this out. We're gonna figure this out right now.
Um,
Rory
as you're looking
McIlroy.
that up.
Yeah.
So I'll just
He
run
is
down.
right on the money. He's
Yeah.
5'9".
Okay. Yeah.
He's
He
five
doesn't,
nine.
but he doesn't
Good on
play.
you. No,
Um,
and to your point, Tiger, when Charlie Woods asks Tiger, "Hey, Dad, let me see some old clips of your swing." Tiger says, "No, don't watch my
right.
swing. Watch
Watch.
Rory's."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it's better for your frame.
Well, it's just a better. It's
Yeah.
the
Right.
most pure swing in golf. It's
Yeah. He really does have that pretty, like, like Griffey did back in the day in
yes,
baseball.
yes,
Whereas like
yes.
there were times where he wasn't at the
Great
top of his
analogy.
he wasn't at the top of his game, but that swing always looked like butter.
Well, and it was like Griffey always was the biggest thing about Griffey was how often he got hurt.
Right. And that's a big part of it.
Had Griffey been a first baseman, he probably would have had a more longevity in his career.
Sure.
But because he was so fast and because he had such a strong arm, everyone had to put him in the outfield. And obviously, being in the outfield opens you up to way more injuries. And
Hmm.
that's what happened to Ken Griffey Jr. And
Yeah.
if he had done steroids, I'm of the opinion, had Ken Griffey Jr. done steroids, there'd be no one that would have more home runs than Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean, you'd probably right. I mean, like and it's funny enough to say the same thing like we were just saying with Rory, with Griffey. I honestly was surprised at the number he hit. I mean, he was in the sixes, right? Like he had like
Yeah.
600
Yep.
something. Again, same thing where I'm like, he just kept getting injured year after year.
Yep.
And you look up and you're like, oh shit, Griffey has 600 home runs.
Well, it's
All
you know
right.
why, Aaron? Because 5 and 600 were with the Reds when they weren't good.
Yeah. And that's a pretty notoriously hitters friendly ballpark, but
Well, a lot of them were at
still.
Synergy, at
Oh, the
Riverfront.
old one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I
All
have
right. So
the Masters odds up.
yeah.
I'm just going to run through the top 10 real quick,
Okay.
according to betting favorites.
And then we'll talk
Um,
about who do we love and who are we staying away from.
So we got Scheffler, and this is in order. So you got Scheffler, McIlroy, Koepka, Rahm, Clark, Schauffele, Zalatoris, Matsuyama, Spieth, and then Hovland at 10. Interesting though too. I just want to point out 11, the young buck, Ludwig. Was it Aberg or
Yeah.
whatever? He's kind of
Yeah.
taken golf by
Yeah.
storm a little
Yeah.
bit, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think that's always cool. Like you were saying, golf's probably never been in a better. The thing that sucks though is it's like they split it at the time when you had the most talent. So like the PGA Tour can still compete as a functioning league because you have such good golfers right now.
Yeah.
But like it's not like I have to turn on the NFL and be like, well, yeah, but it's not against Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but at the same time,
I just hate that for the sport.
like at the end of the day, the Super Bowl, Mahomes will be there.
Yeah, that's true. For this, so it is kind of like what was it, the AFL, NFL?
Like the
Like the
best
Jets,
players will
yeah.
be at the biggest events.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like who gives a fuck about the fucking Valero Open? Like no, like I get it. Like it's a bit like it's a nice purse. It's like an $18 million purse. I get that. Like it's and like I get the PGA championship or not the PGA champ. I'm sorry, like the FedEx Cup. Like I get that. But like who gives a fuck? Like at the end of the day, it's about majors. When we talk about the greatest of all time, we're talking about majors. Similarly to like football, we talk about Super Bowls and like Tom Brady with 7, obviously, we talk about him as the greatest of all time. And so when it comes down to like, I get what you're saying. Like it would be nice to just on an off Saturday be able to flip on CBS and watch all of the best in one
Yeah,
location. I
which we
get
will be
that.
able to this weekend. So
Yes.
we can save complaining about it for a different weekend because that's not this one. So I read off those top 10 of those. Let's just and you know what? Let's take Scotty out of it because I think it's too because again, Scotty is at plus 325.
No value.
Rory in second place is at plus 1,000, and then going
Yeah.
all the way down to 10 is plus 25. So
When's the last time a favorite won the Masters?
it's a good question. Um, I know Scotty was favored last year, but Rom was right there, like probably two. Um, I mean, I would guess Tiger, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a good guess. When is the last time the favorite has won the Masters? Tiger Woods has won the Masters 5 times, and a favorite has not won the green jacket since the Big Cat, aka Tiger Woods, did it in 2005 at plus 350. Good pull, Aaron. Good
So,
pull.
so we are right in that range, though. So Scotty is right now. He was basically at plus 400 all
Here's the
week.
thing.
So
Scotty's got a lot on his mind right now.
yeah,
Wife 2 weeks out from due date has been asked multiple times, "Hey Scotty, if she goes into labor, what are you going to do?" He's like, "Well, I'm withdrawing and I'm leaving," which absolutely,
well, what if it happens and he's like 3 putts away from? He's like, I mean, just keep the car running.
it's like, yeah, I'm on 15 though.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. Well, we're on 15. I'm
Yeah,
going
babe,
into labor.
I'll be
Right,
there.
right.
Uh,
I mean,
huh.
we're basically going back to the clubhouse this way. So it's not like I'm
Yeah,
on 8 on the out.
it's
You know, I'm
on the
coming.
way. The other guys aren't in contention. They're going to clear them. It's going to be fine. Our pace has been a lot better on the back nine.
Yeah, it's fine. No, but I want to take Scotty out of it because it's like obviously you're gonna pick
I'm not
Scotty.
betting on him. I'm not betting on him
I'm not
at all.
betting. Well, that's an odds thing,
Yeah, exactly. It's a value thing, right?
right? So,
Yeah.
but I'm saying if we're just talking about who do you think's gonna win? So of those 10, we said let's like again take Scotty out of it. You know, who do you think of these top contenders has the best chance to win?
So I already talked about Rory, so I'm not going to talk about him anymore. Um, Another guy, again, when I talk about Augusta, I talk about who's played well at
Mm-hmm.
that course. So Brooks stands out to me.
Yep.
Another guy, kind of at the end of that list, if not at the very end, I can't remember. That stands out to me that has played well at Augusta. That would be I think about Story. I think about all of these things when I think about Augusta because it all kind of comes together. Another guy that really stands out, Will Zalatoris,
Yeah.
really
I
stands
like
out to
Zalatoris
me.
a lot.
He's a guy that stands out to me as somebody that can absolutely win this thing because he can play really good golf. And that's the thing about majors. That's the thing about golf. And yes, it's one thing. Yes, Scotty Scheffler is the number one golfer in the world, and he's been there a long time, and deservedly so. He plays consistently at the top of the pack all the time, but it just takes 4 good days. Actually, it really just takes two. It just takes 2 really good days. You can be okay for the first two, and then on Saturday, if you just turn it on and some other people have bad day, that's just
Yeah.
the beauty of what a golf tournament really is it's just about being not bad for most of the time, right?
Right.
That's golf in
Right.
general, right? What do I do to limit my mistakes? What do I do to make sure I don't fuck up as much as possible? And hopefully other people do fuck up.
Well,
That's
and
golf.
if you remember too, Zalatoris last year withdrew like right before the event.
Yeah.
Um, so probably has some little something extra to prove this year as well. Um, Also, probably deflating his odds a little bit. Had he played
Mm.
last year and played pretty well, so when you're talking about Rory and Scotty, you're not really getting any value for. I think it's the reverse with Zalatoris. I think had he played there last year and played as well as some of these other guys that he's around, his odds aren't going to be as good as you can get there. Wyndham Clark to me is the enigma.
I'm
Because
staying away from him.
I am too. It's his first time at Augusta.
Yeah, thank you. All right, cool. Hey, Bobby,
Obviously,
this isn't any hate towards you, buddy. Bobby just picked him in our Masters pool. This isn't any hate.
I love Wyndham Clark. I
A
think
lot of a couple of people have picked him as their.
and I don't think it's a bad pick. It's just I don't know for sure kind of thing, and you kind of really have to hit with that 1 through 10 guy, in your pool, or pick it with enough variance.
Yeah,
is the other option. But like for me, I'm sorry, Scotty's probably going to finish in the top 5. I got to take him.
unless he withdraws.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I'm just saying.
No, the science would say you're right.
Yeah, and also like he's staying. Hovland is an interesting one because he's been
been
tinkering
fucking
with
up,
the
man.
swing. I bet him like in July of last year to win the Masters, so I'm just holding on to this like plus
Wow.
4,000 to
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane.
So I have a very good ticket on him, but I'm not confident in him going into it. But he played really well at Augusta last year. That was part of the reason I bet on him so far away.
Also, I'm not really big on taking the flavor of the week.
And who do you think that is right now?
Well, the young gun.
Ludwig?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. Like
again, same thing with Wyndham's won a major. I don't know how our boy Ludwig is going to play in his first.
Yeah, but Augusta's not just another major.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I have concerns with Wyndham because he's never played Augusta and he's actually won a major. I'm saying so. Of course, I'm going to have issues.
Yeah.
With you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know who we're not talking about?
Who's that?
Somebody that's had a green jacket that is arguably, because he's on the live tour, you don't see him in the
DJ
in the rankings. Yeah, no one's talking about him.
I just don't think if he's on.
But why? I know what you're going to say, but why?
No, if he's on, he's
like,
one of the best. I just don't know that I can guarantee myself 4 days of focus from him.
Here's the if he's there, he's on. Like DJ's always in the mix. He's always at least fucking around in there. Like he doesn't win very many, but like he's always kind of there. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing for DJ, like whether or not you're gonna get good DJ or bad DJ, and if you're gonna bet on him, what I would argue is live betting versus future betting. So watch the first couple of rounds. Obviously, you're risking the value going down.
Yeah, you're gonna get right.
But what I would watch is just even if he's outside of the top 25, if DJ has the putter working this on Thursday and Friday, that's the biggest thing for him is the putter. We know the drive is going to be there. We almost always know the second shot is going to be there. Is the putter going to be there? So if the putter is working,
and you need that at a go. I mean, you honestly you need everything.
That's how he won his green jacket. That's how he won it, is because he was dialed on the putter. And so if DJ's got the putter working, I'm not saying make a future bet to win, but what I am saying is kind of look at him and just see how the putter is working. And if he looks good, if you feel confident, if he's 1 and 2 putting holes, I'd risk a top 5 finish for DJ on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, I like that. One of same thing, guy. I think we're not really talking enough about is Xander Schauffele too. I think he's just like what you're describing with DJ. He's always in the mix.
Top 5 golfer in the world.
Hasn't won one of these.
Yeah.
but he always plays well. I think it could be a situation because again, he's
He was
certainly
top
tested at Augusta.
3 last year, was he
Yeah,
not?
he was. Yeah, he's. I don't know the exact finish he had,
I'll look it
um,
up.
but he really does have the skills that translate well here. I think he's just kind of been on the short end of the stick few too many times. Um,
So 2023, he tied for second.
okay,
He missed the cut in 22. In 21, he was tied for third. 2020 tied for 17. 2019 tied for second.
so
2018 he tied for 50th.
so that's one that I love that I'm playing this week is just him
That's a
top
good
five.
one. Good
Top
value.
five for Xander. I think
Yeah.
you're getting good value out of. Plus, it's
Well,
something
and I mean, look at the
it's always nice
statistics,
to
Aaron.
yeah
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 out of the last 5 years, he's been top 3.
yeah.
So that's
So
a great value.
I
Talk
think
about record at a course.
right, and I think if you're talking about outright winners, I think he's probably the best value on the board at plus 18.
Hard to argue that. Another guy, couple of guys we're not talking about, but the first of which we'll stick with the PGA at this point. Colin Morikawa.
Hard fade for me this week.
Explain.
He hasn't been playing well of late, and when
Yeah.
his iron play isn't, I mean, that's what makes him one of the best golfers on the planet. Is I think
Mm-hmm.
is him and Hovland when their irons are on are just a beauty to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a course that what about 170, 150 yards and in is going to be very, very important to the
How do you
team.
feel about a top 10 finish for Colin Morikawa?
I would rather bet him to miss the cut.
Okay. So the reason I ask that, again, when we talk about Augusta, we talk about how do you play at Augusta. I'm going to give you the last 3 finishes, starting with the oldest. In 2021, Colin Morikawa finished 18th.
Mm-hmm.
In 2022, Colin Morikawa finished 5th. In 2023, he finished 10th. So the last 2 years, he's been top 10. In the last 3 years, he's been top 20. And just throwing it out there, in 2020, he was 44th. So he has a great Masters profile. So that's something that, I'm not saying put a bet on him to win, but what I'm saying is take that into account. He plays this course well.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think he's one of those just guys I can't get a good read on of how he's going to show up. And
I
so it's
feel
just
like
more of a stay away for me.
he could have been America's Rory like 6 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, so that's probably one I'm just staying away from, but there are a couple that I am fading. One of those is Justin Thomas.
Man, I
And
love that guy so
I do
much.
too. I
I
do
just
too.
wish he could get it together.
But I also like making money when I can. I think I have
Money's
um
good.
I have like 3 or 4 big names to miss the cut.
What about
You know,
Jordan Spieth?
I like Spieth.
Plays well.
Uh
He plays well at
he
Augusta.
plays very well. Apparently he's got some injury though to look out for or something that's kind of been flaring up. I
Another
like
guy
Spieth.
with an injury that we haven't talked about, somebody that has also played well at Augusta, a live guy, Cam Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back
Uh
injury, withdrew from the last tournament, but apparently it was due to food poisoning. It wasn't anything to do with his back.
yeah, that's what they're saying.
Ready to go for Augusta.
Cam Smith was like my favorite golfer when he left for Live. I was a little bummed out about it actually.
So you are kind of anti-live a little bit, just like
Yeah.
inherently like baked in, right? Like
Yeah.
not like
Yeah, I
anything
don't like what it
against. Yeah.
is. I don't like what it represents. It's also not a good product.
Okay.
You know, like it'd be one thing like if you want to take the entire Saudi Arabia conversation out of it, which I think we should because I don't think either of us are probably versed enough to
Nope.
or have the energy to even want to do that. Just take all
Mm.
of that out of it and just as a
It's on my
standalone
bag,
product.
baby. It's on my bag.
Uh, as a standalone product, um, it's not as good. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously there's the inherent prestigiousness that comes with the PGA and the history and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't even know where to watch Live if I wanted to.
Right.
So what's the point of paying these guys these ridiculous sums of money for them to just basically not be on the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it. But again, we get them this weekend. We'll complain about this later.
Yeah.
But I like Cam. I mean, Cam's always been so good with the flat stick. Like,
Mm.
it's just one of those things where it's like
And
you can
his
hit
approach
6
shots,
birdie.
his approach
Yeah,
shots are just
he's just the kind of golfer that you look up and it's holy shit. Cam has 6 birdies in a row.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
you're like, where the hell did that come from?
And
So
the
he's a guy who I think can make up ground quickly.
so there's a couple of events like this, and I'm going to segue into what I think will probably be our final topic for the night. But there's a couple of events like the Masters, and in that tomorrow at about 9 a.m., every office in America is going to have golf
Mm-hmm.
on the TV. We're going to have it on. We're going to be
Oh,
jawing
this is
about it.
interesting.
The energy's going to be up. It's going to be fun. Opening day is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Golf is like that. Where are you taking this? Where are
The
you,
like, what are those events that capture the office or like kind of transcend
yeah.
the sport? Certainly the first Thursday of March Madness,
Dude. Yeah, just
because
the
it's the
production in
most amount
America.
of games, as well as the office is very conductive for like office pools or brackets and stuff like that. So you have that added benefit of like I got an email sent out this year for a bracket. So it was like I got to spend time during my day to fill it out because, like, you know, what else am I going to do? Sure, I'll do it. But it just, it's kind of that kind of stuff. But you're right. The Masters is definitely that event for golf.
Yeah.
Like football doesn't really get that because it's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's on the
It's
weekends,
not
like
like the
or at night, right?
yeah, right. So like
Right.
football never really has that like buzz in the office. You're right. Opening day kind of does a lot. I mean,
Yes.
obviously it's the events that are going
What
on.
did you guys do for opening day? Talk to me about that. What did you guys do for opening day? Obviously, the eclipse.
Actually, yeah, that's something we didn't talk about. Was the eclipse. So I'll be honest with you, didn't do anything for the game. I did the whole day around the eclipse, which was
Okay. What did you do for the
I
eclipse?
mean, I took a half day and we watched it in the backyard.
All right.
Like
And
actually, and of course Mary, because everything has to be themed. You'll get it a little later. So she made pineapple margaritas, and then
nice.
in the round ice molds, she froze
Oh my god.
butterfly tea, which is very, very dark blue, basically black,
Yeah.
but it's more of a very dark blue. But she made like eclipse cocktails. So you put the sun is the pineapple margarita, and then you put
Yeah.
the ice ball in it, and it blacks out the. It was kind of cool, and they tasted good. It was a margarita. No one was like, "Fuck this, dude, come on."
Yeah. Wait.
But it
So
was
how
funny. I
many
kept
did
telling.
you have people over?
We just had like a couple people. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fun,
because
man.
everybody was kind of doing their own thing. Because it's like, I guess it was like a madhouse around here, just because
Well,
we were in the
apparently,
path
like
of
Lake
totality.
Erie was insane,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
down
yeah.
at the
That was a
beach
big
too.
destination spot because we're in the path of totality. So, um, but I will say, if you ever get the opportunity or chance to be in full totality for an eclipse, I couldn't recommend it highly enough. It was I don't like I it's almost like indescribable. It was like I was like, yeah, this will be cool. Great excuse to not work half the day, like have a couple cocktails in the backyard. I was actually kind of blown away for like the 3 minutes of dude, it gets dark. You can see the sun on like both opposite ends of like where
The
it's actually
horizon, yeah,
touching on the off the
yeah,
horizon.
yeah,
Um, it went from being like I couldn't hear 3 houses down to I felt like I could hear like a mile and a half away of like people, like everything just went so like deathly still. All the animals stopped because they're like, what the fuck? Why is it nighttime? Like all the birds stopped chirping, and it gets like 15 degrees cooler than it was a second
yeah,
ago, and it's wild. And the other wild thing is when it's like 99 or 98% covered, so there's still just like a
yeah,
little sliver of sun.
hmm
How light out it still is, where you're like,
yeah.
holy shit, 2% of the sun is still doing this. So it's a very, very cool experience.
Here's the issue I have with the eclipse in that I lived in Utah in the 2017 eclipse and
Yeah.
then Michigan in the 2024 eclipse.
Did you guys get full block
Like
or was it?
90% you like
Yeah.
totality when I was in Salt Lake. So
Yeah.
I'm halfway convinced the sun revolves around me, and that's an issue.
Sure.
Especially for your life mission, which is to
Hmm.
completely make sure that my head doesn't get too big, right? So, like, this
Yeah.
is
You're
this
welcome.
is this is a problem. This is a problem. So, the next eclipse, if I happen to live in the place where it will be totality in the United States, that's it. I
Yeah.
feel like the next one's got to be like Europe, though, right? Like the
Well, the
next
next
one's
one for the United States is like 2040 something.
where?
It goes
It's got to be West
d-
Coast,
it's
right?
like diagonal from like Orlando across like Colorado.
Oh, it's going
Like
the
that's
other
like,
way?
well, I'm just doing it that way, but
Oh,
like
it's
because I
coming
know some
from Colorado down to
like
Orlando?
Washington across to like
So, like,
Orlando.
most of America.
A lot of it, yeah. I know it's in Orlando because I know somebody made the joke of like, I'd start buying your Disney tickets now.
It's a good point.
Yeah,
It's a good point. So, opening day, though, the Guardians push it back. Like, opening day is one of
so
those
cool. They
events,
had a
though.
5 o'clock start. They did the like viewing in the stadium, which is really cool because it obviously went right over downtown. And then they got a win. The Guardians are doing all right, man.
Are they? It's
Yeah,
early.
Bieber's out for the year though, so
Ouch.
it's over. Yeah. Um, really cool thing happened today though. Apparently it's the Guardians are sitting 9-3 right now.
Cool.
They're just nickel and diming their way to wins, man. They're like, we're gonna hit some home runs, but not really. We're just gonna hit a bunch of doubles. Sorry about it. Um, but anyway, so today apparently is National Sibling Day. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay. I should call my sister.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't realize it was a thing until today either. But the Naylor brothers hit home runs in the same inning today.
Hey,
So that
what
was
beer are you drinking, Aaron?
me. Right now I have a Yingling Light.
Well, what were you drinking?
Oh, the sibling revelry,
Eh,
exactly. And it's in Augusta. I was planned. I prepared.
Dude, you're crushing it right now.
I'm absolutely crushing it today. I'm nailing this.
Oh,
How's it going?
mailing is nailing it.
How's it going down in Reds country?
They're about to be 500 after tonight. It looks like they are, what is it, like 7-2? Yeah, 7-2, bottom of the seventh at home. Hey, crazier shit has happened. But the cool thing, like we've had some fun baseball to start. The Reds are 6-5. They dropped tonight. They'll be 6-6. 2 nights ago, Ellie De La Cruz did something that no one has ever done in baseball, which is something that I feel like we've said already too much in his early career. He hit 2 home runs, one from each side of the plate. One was over the fence, the other inside the park. He scored 4 total runs and stole 2 bases. No one in MLB history has ever done that in a single game.
Wow.
He is a freak. He's an
That
absolute freak. And the worst part is the Reds are so good at identifying talent. The Reds are so good at identifying talent. Spencer Steer, someone they traded for, is batting 400 going into tonight. 15 RBIs through 11 games. There's no way they will pay these guys. It won't happen.
Yeah, I feel your pain, man.
It's so frustrating. And honestly, the only thing that will make baseball better is a salary cap.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
I don't disagree, especially with now the shenanigans of like the Otani contract, or it's like $500 million, but it's not until.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a degenerate gambler, I'd probably be like, can I not touch that money for 30 years? probably a good call,
Why
actually.
don't we just kick
Um,
this out? Yeah.
real quick though. So I was telling you the Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor.
Mm.
That was cool, right? The home runs.
Yeah.
That I saw it. That happened earlier. Just went to check. They did it again, except
Nice.
not home. It was extra innings, down one, and they both hit the.
Walk off.
Well, they hit.
The
Josh hit an
winning.
RBI, and then
Yeah.
Bo hit an RBI. So they both got the runs batted in to win as well.
Wow.
Bro's stepping up.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be fun.
Honestly, I've been kind of dialed in on the Guardians a little bit.
You
They're
know,
playing
and
well.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm checking every Reds game right now. I promise you this will end
But
after the 4th of July.
to go, well, yeah, there could be that.
I promise.
I'm also doing fantasy baseball this year for the first time in like 15 years, so I'm like kind of just paying attention in
God
general.
bless your soul.
It hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, but Aaron, you're like fucking 4 weeks into it.
I
No,
know.
what?
Oh, no,
Like
no, trust me, I
no,
know.
I'm sorry. A week into it. You're a week into it. 2 weeks into it.
I know.
Like I mean, dude, if
No, it's just like baseball. I get it.
Yeah.
Like by July, you're like, we're still doing this.
Unless you're winning, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how it works. Like
kind of crushing it.
if
That 3 hours of research I did really paid off.
if you are in July and you're still at the top of your fantasy baseball league, you're going to keep paying attention. But if you
Right.
won't, there will be the law of attrition and you'll just fall out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how fantasy baseball fans, that's how it all happens.
No, you're right.
It sucks. It sucks though, because like I enjoy baseball. I
love
like
going to a game. Like
going to a game is a blast. Playoff baseball is fun. The World Series is fun. Which brings me to my next point. The women's college basketball championship game did more than I think any World Series could ever do in viewership.
100%. Was super happy to have that in Cleveland this year. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could have gone, but like, I mean, frankly, tickets were insanely expensive.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But that was neat. You know, we had a kind of a cool weekend with the eclipse, opening day, everything.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of just a cool time, and the weather ended up being beautiful.
So let me ask you this, Aaron. Caitlin Clark has been offered $500 million. No, I'm sorry. Was it 5 million? 5 million. $5 million. A little bit of a difference to play in the big three.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt she would do that.
Why?
Because I think she would make more money in the WNBA over the life of it.
So let's just between
career earnings and endorsements, and because she's one of one, quite frankly. Like I fully anticipate the viewership to follow her to the WNBA.
So the highest salary in the WNBA right now is $242,000. Rob, thanks for looking at the stream, buddy. What's up? $242,000 versus $5 million.
The top athletes make more off the floor than on it.
100% agree. Why does that go away if she's in the big three?
I don't think you'll have the same viewership. It'll be a novelty thing for a week, and then.
So let me ask you this: 242,000. In order to earn $5 million, she would need to play in the WNBA for 20 years. Let me ask you this: go to the big three for 1 year, WNBA the next year. Does the WNBA doesn't say no, right?
No, I mean, she would get a job there the second she wanted to, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's smart enough, and from like a business perspective, it would make way more sense to do
Explain
the
that to me. Explain why from the business, because from what I'm hearing, $5 million, and
she's going to
then
get way more in endorsements by being in the WNBA. Also, the WNBA is probably the most popular it's been ever right now. So I hear what you're saying. Like
yeah,
on
but
on
I think that also holds true the moment she starts there. Like it'll
right.
still be more
Yeah,
popular.
no, I mean, I fully anticipate the viewership to follow her to the WNBA. I wouldn't believe that would happen for because
Do you?
you yeah, because dude, I'm telling you,
You
a
think
lot
it's
of it.
gonna follow? What you think the viewership is gonna follow her to the W? Because what I would argue is that just that college basketball is just better than the
Who is the number one
WNBA.
pick? I think it's like Indiana
Indiana, the India is it the Fever?
Fever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a team sport and it's a city sport. She's gonna have, you can argue will be the most popular basketball player in Indiana. Obviously, Halliburton's great, but he's not like a he's an all-star, but he's not
She
like
might
a
be the most popular basketball player in the Central Time Zone.
sure, sure. I mean, I'm sure Luca would have something to say about that. Um, but um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like what the big three isn't going to move any needles. Like it's cool like that they're offering that.
So Rob
Um,
coming in with an interesting point. She can play in both leagues.
can she? I don't know.
I I think there is. I believe the big three is only on the weekends.
Hmm.
And so basically, if she would just have a conversation with the Indiana Fever, like, "Hey,
I'm gonna Bo
I'm
Jackson this.
I'm also doing this.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to be there on games where this is, but I'm only doing it for 1 year."
yeah. I don't know. That would be interesting, but
Because
who
let's
knows?
let's get it straight. Let's be very clear. Caitlin Clark is not enough to win a championship.
Did you watch any of it? Like the women's Final Four?
Yeah, what I have seen is that she's very, very good and enough to elevate most of her team, but one, South Carolina is insane.
Yeah, actually, what's funny is I didn't. So I watched the Friday night, the Iowa
The
UConn
Yukon,
game.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was Sunday at 3 o'clock. I just was, I did,
No, so I watched the last year's championship game against LSU, and that was one of the
I
most
did
electric
watch
games
that.
I've ever
I was
seen.
in Vegas when it happened.
It
It
was
was dope. That was
amazing.
fun.
It was an
Yeah, that
amazing
was sweet.
game.
Yeah, it was.
And I think this game against South Carolina was really good too, but South Carolina is just a
Yeah, they're
juggernaut.
insane. Yeah, they're
They're a
insane.
juggernaut. Yeah.
Um, but it was like it was really cool. Honestly, the thing that stood out to me the most about her was like, yeah, obviously we know she's an electric shooter, um, but her passing is,
Yes. It's better, almost better than her shooting, honestly.
yeah, she's in like her court vision is insane.
It is.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so I mean that's cool. Like it's only good for sports fans to have, like there's a giant crop of players coming out this year for the WNBA. Like obviously Caitlin Clark will lead the class, but it seems like there's going to be a decent amount of influx of talent in that league, which will be great.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah, Rob,
Kate
I'm with you, man. I mean, it's the Steph Curry effect, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she obviously brings a pool. I just struggle with, because that pool is so great. I struggle with the business decision of that pool goes away because she's somewhere else. I don't know that that's true. I think the endorsements come either way. Like I think like Caitlin Clark becomes a Jordan athlete either way. Like if she's with the WNBA or she's a big three and then the WNBA or both or whatever that is, I think that Caitlin Clark is that regardless. Like the external monetary benefits come.
Yeah, but you're gonna have her in like the NBA still owns the WNBA, right? So you're gonna like we had the Sabrina Steph 3-point shoot contest for the
Yeah.
All-Star game this year, which was a huge success. You're
Yeah.
gonna have the opportunity to do those type of events, as well as like, I mean, you have like the WNBA now in 2K. I guarantee you, when Caitlin Clark plays in the WNBA, you're gonna have the most amount of people ever playing 2K to play the WNBA feature. You know, like a lot of that goes away when you're she's going to be in the WNBA, and quite frankly, she's going to be the face of it very early.
Yeah. Yeah. And she should be. She
She
should
should
be.
be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such an interesting dynamic because I'm gonna toe a line here, but like the rest of the product is just boring.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I've watched a ton of it.
There's a reason for that.
Like even watching some of the Final Four stuff was a little like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. There's a reason for that. And it's not anything other than what it is. It's not to say that to disparage the
it's
athletes.
a different kind of athleticism. I mean, there's just nothing.
Well, one is more than the other. We can
Yeah,
just be honest about that and just call it what it is and just say
I mean, if we're being honest though, I saw some pretty bad basketball on the men's side
fair,
during the
fair,
tournament. You know what I mean? Like it's
fair enough. But watch. I mean, let's just watch the two championship games and just look at
yeah.
those and just look at the quality and the strategy of play that had to take place. What Hurley and UConn did to Zach Edey in the men's national championship game is a clinic on coaching and strategy in basketball. And
Yeah.
it was artfully done and something that no one had been able to do throughout the entire tournament and only a handful of times throughout the year in beating Purdue. And it was the best player in basketball was minimized in order to win. That didn't happen in the women's game,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
No, it was extremely fun to watch, and I think just for everything that we've seen in women's college basketball since Caitlin Clark, like it, it's a worthy product to watch. I don't know how to, like you said, like towing a line. Like I don't want to sit here and be like I never gave a shit before, but like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I really didn't, and like
You know
it
what though?
does.
Like
But you
the
could say that
first
about golf prior to Tiger. Like there are these,
fair enough.
you know
Fair
what I
enough.
mean?
Yes,
Like there are
absolutely.
these
Or prior
forces that
to the
come in
nine, like
sports.
in the 80s, there was no one in baseball, and then all of a sudden, Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa came on the
Yeah,
scene.
that's a great one. Like that took over everything in the sport.
But
And
honestly, like
sometimes those sports
it
need
has
that.
happened in women's college basketball. Like
Mhm.
Diana Taurasi was a
Mhm.
big figure in women's college basketball. Obviously, Brittany Griner was a
Mhm.
big figure in literally
Candace
in
Parker.
women's. Candace Parker and Caitlin Clark. Like these are massive figures in the sport, and Caitlin Clark obviously is the best of all of them, without a
Yeah.
doubt. So it's good. It is good. Like inherently, these things are good, and but at the same time, it's hard. It would if I were Caitlin Clark, it would be very difficult for me to say I'm not going to go take this $5 million for 1 year and then come back to like the WNBA is not going to say no to her at any time. Go get $5 million now and then just do the WNBA later. I don't like the only
I
risk,
guess my
like
my point is
injury.
it's like
Injury is the
no,
only risk.
no, I'm just
Like,
saying like I her not taking that money there doesn't preclude her from taking money elsewhere. Like I think she's going to get plenty
yeah,
of.
but both are true, is what I'm saying. Like, she can do all of that at another
I don't
time.
think she'll have the same because you have the companies that are the official license blank of the NBA. Like she's going to be in all those commercials.
So I guess what she could do as like a hey, Thank you for offering me this $5 million deal, Ice Cube. I've got the big three offering me $5 million. What are you going to do? Like
Yeah,
leverage. It's a
yeah,
leverage point. They're giving me 5 mil. What are you doing, Nike? I know your budget's way bigger than the big three. What are you
right.
doing, Jordan Brand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like she'll
yeah,
get it.
yeah, yeah. And good for her. Deservedly so. Deservedly
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the interesting thing will be what does women's college basketball look like next year without her? Like, is it solely like I think it was already going up in popularity uh, in general.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of pivot and market the next and
You know what I was doing yesterday at the park with the girls?
working on their three.
Hands up, shuffle those feet. All right, daddy's
Yeah.
dribbling this way. Hands up, shuffle those feet. Daddy's dribbling that way. Hands up, shuffle those feet. Man, I had him going. Savannah, by the way, lefty shooter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That'll confuse a lot of kids.
she's an asset, is what she
Yeah.
is what it boils down to.
You gotta get them running the charge drill.
I'll get him doing the L cone drills. We'll be doing it all. Just
Love that.
getting that agility and that
The
speed up.
the interesting thing though with the Steph Curry effect though is what this will do to the like, you're gonna have girls and I'm sure there is it right now, like in high school, where you're
Hmm.
like taking these ignorant shots that no coach would have ever allowed you to do before.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen in the NBA since Steph Curry is the emergence of the three ball
Even
because
the college game. Look at one of the Final Four participants, Alabama.
yeah.
Live and die by the three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I think that's time. We've gone an hour and a half. Let's wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is Riley Tau Sports. Good luck on your Masters bets. Aaron, who's winning the Masters? Call it right now.
I'm going Xander.
Xander Schauffele. I'm going Rory. We'll
Okay.
see how it all shakes out.
Those are gonna be our guys.
Thanks
The
for
official
hanging out.
rally towel our guys.
Yeah, Rory and Xander. Rob, thanks for stopping by. Tez, thanks for stopping by. Everybody who likes the stream, we love you. Share it, like it, do whatever you got to do. See you next time.